in terms of his champion pool. He's not a very big fan of skirmishing champions like the Silas or even the Jace, and mostly the melee mid laners. So if Beichuan gets this pick, which is gonna get locked in here, Ucal is gonna have a bang of a time with the synergies that's gonna happen for this game too.
I can't wait. The possibilities endless again. Mid champion pool is massive, and I have to count it at this point. 9, 12, 15 unique champions that Ucal can now rely on. As Tristana is taken away with the Annie as well. We were talking about that. But Kitty, I want to mention that for RNG, maybe this is a better direction this time around. Wei has played a lot of the vibe, but the one he's played the most is that Wukong. And even hell, Breathe in the past was one of the best Kennens in the league. So maybe a much better showing for RNG for Game 2 so far.
Oh, we really need an AD mid laner if Breathe is going to lock in the Kennen blind. Ucal, he has put the Cassidy before, and I know from just listing out Angel's champion pool, he has the Jace available, but it depends on how comfortable he feels when TT, if they're going to save that counter pick for Angel in this game too. But I can already see just the threat of this Yone getting locked in here, which is his third most played when it comes to his champion pool, and the side lane threat that TT is going to have for this game is going to be insane. Huanfeng, if he's gonna go AP, you can play Veigar, you can play Ziggs, lock in the Leona for the bottom lane. Just let Ucal do his thing again.
You're spot on. You can do whatever you want from here. Again, just the fact that we're getting Yone, a change in direction. That's what we're saying. TT draft can be really flexible here, Kitty. And again, the core carry on something that can carry. For TT on the other side, Hoya going to the Gragas. Okay. Kitty, does mean we leave the bottom lane out to dry a bit for TT, but I feel like we could just keep saying the same thing about the draft. And the fact is that TT so far have really played towards their comfort, which is what Huanfeng was saying in the interview.
Ooh, we are going to get the LeBlanc locked in for this game too. I honestly would have preferred a more for game 1 as it had better synergy, but now you lock in the double AP, it's going to be very hard to play these team fights if TT does decide to build any type of MR, so you really need a hyper carry to make up for that lack of AD damage. Since you already see the Gragas and the Sejuani getting locked in, Merc Treads are going to come online straight away. And way on this Wukong, I mean, you do have the Thunderous Spike when you do get that Mythic, but it's not going to be reliable damage until the very later stages. But like you said, ADC pool very up and open. But if Huanfeng locks in a mage and Gala is trying his best to get any gold lead, it's just going to get diffused straight away.
It really is. And again, I'm so impressed by TT so far, and it feels like for RNG, they're going to have to show us something new. Coming into the bottom lane themselves, they've already taken away Huanfeng on the Varus. Remember, game 1 was the Aphelios, which is still there for RNG for R4. Draven banned away again. Kitty, maybe RNG just like, look, let's just put Gala back on the Aphelios again? Does that really feel like the direction here?
It feels like TT is trying to narrow RNG's choices and make or force Gala to lock in the Aphelios, but looking at TT's top side, you'd be more than happy to have an immobile ADC sitting on the other side. Something like the Jinx could also be an option, but you really need appealing support when you're up against a Yone and a Sejuani. And the solution does get taken off. That does mean Gala probably leaning back to the Aphelios, or the Caitlyn is also a very interesting pick, getting those kills online early, but RNG not having a lot of reliable frontline just quite yet, so Ming has to make up for that.
It'd be interesting to see at the very least if we do get that Caitlyn. Kitty, are you ahead of me or what? Because you were like, you're like the Caitlyn. I'm like, dude, I'm still watching the Aphelios. I'm looking at a Jinx, and I am seeing a Jinx. I'm like, where is the Caitlyn? Where's the Caitlyn coming from?
He hovered it for like a millisecond, so you must have missed it.
You can see things I can't. I was like, where's the Caitlyn? But you know what?
Eyes diff.
I close it up. Oh, we got cosplayers. Side note, Jinx is locked in. Yeah, sorry.
Jinx gets locked in and the producer shows us a Jinx cosplay. What a base producer. But of course, with these hypercarries getting left open, Huanfeng very good on the Aphelios and just tossing so much damage out in those team fights. Maybe a supportive or peeling support like the... Oh, okay, we have a Nautilus. I don't want Ming to play Lulu. If Ming locks in Lulu here, I'm going to cry.
He's going to, isn't he?
I'm going to cry. No.
Well, blame Ming. Someone get onto Weibo and ping, because no one has to worry. Kitty's not going to cry because Ming is on engage. So you get your wish. You do get that engage to sync up with Wei. And Kitty, I'm kind of wondering about RNG's comp here, because they deviated a little bit. It feels like we are going to get some of that team fighting in a very interesting way from RNG again.
Yeah, a lot of mobility for RNG in this game too, just from purely the LeBlanc and Wukong being that mid-jungle duo, but you really need to get those flanks online as you do have the Kennen blind for this game too in Breed's hand this time around, so he really didn't enjoy the treatment that Hoya had for that game 1, so he's gonna go out for revenge, but I think Gragas does have a much better time when it comes to
It's the first game because RNG are now the ones on the back foot in round 1 of LPL 2023 Spring Playoffs as we head onto the Rift to get a Yone from Ucal. Kitty, I think now you can answer.
Well, is Ucal going to answer me and my prayers as you have the Sejuani and Yone locked in for this game too, and the mid-jungle skirmishes are going to be so interesting because we need Angel to prove himself and redeem himself from that game 1 performance. Even Wei on the Vi, where it was a very quiet performance from such a proactive jungler, which I think is where RNG thrives off, just getting those early wards down and invading the enemy jungle. But Beichuan is already going in for a ward.
Oh, yeah, but against the Sejuani and Yone, I'd be scared. At the very least, Chain does connect. We're getting to level 1, and this ain't stopping Ming's here. Zenith Blade flash away.
Nice glacial.
TT burner double flashes. Huanfeng is now here as well. Gala's here. And guess what? Yao's joining in. Boys, even in playoffs, we like to 5v5.
RNG very happy with that, to say the least. They get a 2-for-0 flash trade. I was just saying that this Sejuani and Yone are going to take over the game, but now, 1 minute in the game, they don't have flashes anymore. So wait, he can just gank mid with that chain start.
Oh god, that's huge, isn't it? Again, double flash taken away. TT might keep someone on the bottom side of the map, but RNG burning none. That's how this game starts out. So Kitty, I feel like now for Wei, what, do you start looking at hitting mid? Do you start trying to abuse this early as the Wukong?
Yeah, you really want to be giving as much pressure as you can as Wei towards his mid lane push, as Angel, once he gets that lane party and is able to rotate around the map, that is what RNG looks the best in, as Gala is on this Jinx for this game too, and I think once this Jinx is online, unless Ucal lands a little... Oh my god!
Zenith Blade cleanse. There's the summoner gone yet again. It is for Ming's Ignite, but a great trade, again favoring RNG.
A lot of aggression from Ming. He was sick of game 1 and how it went, so he's just landing every single E in this matchup now as the wave is going to slow push into them. But both junglers are pathing towards top side, and Wei's going to do the same thing again. He's going to invade.
Well, he's going to be seen on a ward straight away because it's on the cusp of that blue buff. So pings are going down. Beichuan now thinking, I can hit bot. Look at the stacked wave. Kitty, the only problem is, if you gank in that wave, you are kind of trolling with the amount of damage that'll come back. So looks a little bit dangerous. And I guess the response for now is there is no response. Wei's just going to take this blue buff for free.
Yeah, Beichuan is in a really awkward situation where the bot lane was getting hard pushed in by RNG, even mid, as Angel has that range versus melee matchup, so he can't even go for the enemy blue, and he just has to see his own camps getting taken by Wei on vision. But since TT is struggling to get that lane party in this early game, this is going to set this Sejuani's experience so far behind, and you need those ultimates online for these major objectives.
It's nice to see RNG doing more of their due diligence this time. You know, Ming even going to his own blue buff and making sure that Beichuan wasn't there. They were dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and getting some information. Beichuan's now spotted towards mid as he helps with the shove towards his wave. It looks like they're setting up for the scuttle in response, but Gala's already gotten it. Yao moved up, and Ming and Gala just walked back to lane, very heavily handed. Double scuttle for RNG. This early game looking a lot more brilliant.
Beichuan looking a little bit shocked, honestly, from just the scuttle getting taken by Gala. The blue buff still untouched, so he is now 2 camps behind compared to this Wukong. And with the dragon spawning up very soon, RNG, their best play is when they get first dragon, because I think they have the most insane soul rate, where they get it by the 25-minute mark, because they just rush it all so extremely early.
Hold on this, though. There's going to be a bit of an invade. Level difference here for Wei is permafrost there. But the longer Wei stays in fight, the better. As Conqueror still stacking up. Ucal not joining in just yet. Angel does threaten, though. Beichuan unable to get away with the steal. Kitty, it's a 15 CS difference in the jungle. Double right now for Wei is what he's supporting.
Yeah, and Beichuan is just going to take the L and go back to his Krug. Oh no, this game 2 for Beichuan is looking so suffocating. As way he isn't proactive with the ganks, but he's proactive with just how he controls the ganks. And with Angel on this LeBlanc pick, he has so much mobility where Beichuan isn't able to find the similar angles to gank such a vulnerable matchup in the mid lane. So it's really well played from RNG.
I think as well, to add to your point, that it's also the suffocating from the members syncing up with what Wei's doing. Ming and Gala getting bottom side scuttle, Ming actually roaming before and making sure that, well, Beichuan's not in our blue. He has to be finishing up topside wolves or clearing his bottom side camps again. RNG, again, dotting the I's, crossing the T's in this early game. Much nicer macro this time around as they've got a small gold lead. Kitty, 500 gold lead. That is, I think, coming at the time being with a small CS lead through bot, top lane as well, but mainly that jungle lead we talked about, that netted way, able to pick up a Sheen here as his first real back.
Yone, one more full clear of his jungle. He's going to hit 6 so much earlier than Beichuan. Once he starts forcing these skirmishes with also the dragon available, I don't know how TT's going to be able to contest, even for Herald, which is in 2 minutes. But I think if your Sejuani is so behind, she's just too squishy. When you look at RNG's team composition, they have so much damage, and she needs her mythic online ASAP, or she's just a little small pig.
Small pig.
A small
Little
pig.
small pig. A real small pig. Yeah. Not even a boar, just a little piglet, man. I get you. You know, Sejuani, who even knows? I don't know where did she find a pig to ride? I have been in contact with a pig once in my life. I wanted to give it a hug, but I wouldn't get near it because those things, they'll ram you down. So props to Sejuani, ladies and gentlemen, who has the audacity and capacity to ride a boar.
Aren't boars usually really small? How does she even ride on that?
I don't know. I'll answer that after this because Clem comes out. Huanfeng's almost dead. The Ignite comes down from Ming yet again. He takes turret but doesn't care.
Always level 6.
And now setting up for the dive. Flash Zenith Blade. Wei coming in, as you said. Cyclone time not needed. Wei with first blood. Kitty, RNG have woken up.
Ming is mad and he is coming back with absolute vengeance in this early game. Wei also getting that assist in hand. I mean, this is the RNG we know and exactly what we want as Gala. Eating those plates very yummy once again.
Oh man, the gold already going over. The lead huge, as you said. Jungle this time picking it up as red buff will be taken back by Beichuan. A small little win, but remember, the kill already went down the bottom side. RNG have got the shove into the wave to deny minions from Huanfeng. Kitty, gold has just spiked up to about 1,500 here. Hang on, well, Hoya, I don't think he has kill pressure. There will be some good trading back here from Breathe. Half health for both of them now as we look towards mid. Yao. Supporting just in case Ucal gets into any danger from Ming roaming as well. But Kitty, I'm more wondering about Dragon because it feels like RNG off the back of that success should be able to start this objective.
Yeah, you do see him trying to make his way up towards that top lane. I'm assuming giving over first Dragon, but Ming landing every single E in this matchup where Huanfeng didn't have the cleanse available because he burnt it earlier. And Yaya, of course, being the straggler of this 2v2 was very unfortunate things as Wei was hovering around the side as Beichuan, still level 5 I believe at this point, struggling to force something on the other side of the map. And that is not where you want to be playing because your focus should be the Aphelios and the Yone, not the Gragas.
It's just so ironic that game 1 was a bit of a jungle diff and, you know, again, it is just the other way around. And let's give credit where credit's due, Kitty. RNG's early game was set off the back of this cheeky invade in the top side, this skirmish that happened at level 1. They got the double flash out of Beichuan, out of Ucal. It kind of made the lanes a little bit more defensive and, you know, put TT on this back foot.
Yeah, also picking up that first dragon like you said. This is what we want to see from RNG. This is the Gala that we love. And on a hyper carry as well for this game too. Not too much peeling, but he does have the cleanse available, so hopefully he's able to pop up in these team fights. But TT, a lot of dispositioning, so it's going to be a little bit tough. But Beichuan playing towards his top lane again. Hoya
has flashed, the ulti flashed away from by Breathe. Also having that summoner available, and Hoya doesn't pull the trigger, but at the very least, his Gala sends out a super mega death rocket. That'll cancel Yao getting this back off. Herald was already taken. It was just a small reset here from the bottom lane, but it will be delayed by Gala, who gets a bit of a tempo advantage.
You know, these junglers are really confusing me, Hysterics, because we see the exact same syndrome in Beichuan right now where he's playing towards a Gragas. And your Aphelios is being extremely set behind, already 20 CS down. And you need to free up this lane because Yaya, we see the best play from TT when the support is able to roam around the map. As he is on the Nautilus, very easy to execute ganks. But they're just being trapped in this bottom lane because there's no pressure from their own jungler.
And let's walk through what happens if RNG come out of these lanes even more successful. Because at the moment, as Beichuan's coming to the top side, I might hold that thought. Breathe is looking real good to find angles again. And Angel this time can help and hover on that too, Kitty. As Beichuan hovers behind this lane and just waiting for a mistake. I feel like Hoya needs to start the engage. Explosive cast, as you said, needs to come through. Flash available. Breathe with some fancy feet, but CC, where is it? Jumping in, the Arctic Assault's good, but Permafrost a mile away. Breathe finally going to get locked down. It takes a lot, but still not dead. Kennens don't like dying in this top lane in this series.
He's such a little slippery rat. He just dodged everything from Beichuan. 3 ganks in a row from the TT jungler. But where's back bottom lane? Now Yaya no flash.
And a Cyclone available we haven't seen yet, but a flash on top, Solar Flare, and death is Yao Yao at the moment. Gala picks up the kill at melee range for the bazooka kill. RNG have not only woken up, they've woken the whole damn house.
Now 4 plates in Gala's hands, also 1 kill. I just think whoever plays bottom lane in this series wins Hysterics.
Yeah, apparently it's setting the trend, isn't it? And even so, apparently Kennen gives a lot of good luck as well, because that is the second time now with a second player that Kennen has slipped out from the grasp of a jungle gank on about sub 100 HP. Kitty, RNG have a 2k gold lead. They already picked up that first dragon, and these lanes have gone well enough. And as you said, bottom lane is set up for success, where we should be getting ready for, I guess, what, Kraken or maybe Gale Force coming through from Gala.
Surely.
Yeah, you'd think so, right, with how tanky this front line is, because Gala's going to have it sooner rather than later.
And he's already finishing the call at 11 minutes, so this Jinx is going to be a very big problem for TT, as we did see the multiple attempts from Beichuan without the ultimate either for the top lane. They did earn Breed's flash earlier, but we need perfect execution if you want to kill Gala, because he has the cleanse ability, he also has the flash, because there's just no pressure from the side of the mid jungle of TT. And if you want to play towards that side lane, well, it doesn't matter, because Jinx just has so much force in the mid lane when she does open up on the bottom.
Meanwhile, we're going to look towards top side because Beichuan's hovering there. The ult and melee range onto Breed. Explosive cast, beautiful stuff, body slam. There's the barrel followed up. Breed buys some time for Way to come in, but it's not enough time. Hoya picks up the kill, and there's the Super Mega Death Rocket. Way Cyclones 10 seconds off, and TT set up that play, Kitty, for the Herald. But I actually think, wait, did Herald expire?
I think Herald expired.
I think it did too. Beichuan had it, went in, and it expired while he was taking damage.
Oh no, this early game is so sad. 30 CS lead, and look at Huanfeng, he's forced to back because there's just no hovering from the side of TT. Also, look at the vision that Ming's been able to set up while they try and force that top lane play. There's just no way that TT is going to be able to walk into this dragon scratch-free, as Gala taking this tier 1 tower as well, having the Kraken at 13 minutes.
That's huge. That's so huge. The gold he'll get from this as well, as he tries to deny the cannon. He'll do so. Picks up the gold, alongside Ming. A 40 CS lead is Ucal. Not going to be in trouble. He's just come out from his soul unbound as TT love this top side. They want to kill Breathe again. There's a depth charge. Huanfeng is joined in. He'll ulti for this as well, and a permafrost should be achieved quite soon. Dread blind, Huanfeng kill. They finally give something to bot, but it's in the top lane.
I didn't know the Rat Brigades were out for this Kennen in top lane, but you know, 2 kills. 1 going into Huanfeng is going to bring him back a tiny bit into this game, but RNG being the best at controlling dragons and getting to that dragon pool extremely early. It's not going to be Hextech or Inferno. What if it's the ocean?
It is the ocean, goddamn. That's going to be great for Jinx, but Kitty, we'll look at this again because Beichuan, the Herald, he commits the play for this, but
it was purple once.
Oh, 10 seconds. So he's just in combat because you can't use the Herald in combat. So he gets stunned up. And then Wukong comes in and he's like, press it. And he gets hit by the rocket. Was Gala just a 7-head?
He
what
knew.
the hell?
He knew across the map, and he hit the last ultimate. That's so Giga Brain.
Holy moly. I mean, again, Gala stopping the back before. I feel like a lot of Jinxes just look for the kills with the ult, but Gala has now used a very tactical nuke twice over. As for RNG, stopping the Herald push means that goal was never achieved by TT. The top lane turret stays standing, and the plates were few and far between, if any. More than 2,000, almost a 3,000 gold lead. Herald's now spawn kitty number 2. This time RNG are on top of it.
He does have that flash available as well. Ucal backing. Gonna need to TP back. He's not TPing back. He stopped his own base.
He's just whatever, I guess. Okay. Herald gone. Ucal going to be found out, and nothing for the Herald.
Absolute no contention on the side of TT. They kind of just stared at the Herald and it died. But all these major objectives going into the hands of RNG. Angel also zoning out Huanfeng and Yao from even entering the river was just... It's so tough for this map state because you had the wing-con of Ucal playing to the side, but when you have no map control and side vision, how are you going to ever push up?
Beichuan's going to try and show us use of that now. Against Angel, though, it looks a little bit hard. Distortion comes through. Beichuan going to be spot on the ward, but Angel's damage starting to hurt a little bit here with Luden's Tempest picked up. The Ucal a bit far off that item for now. Looks like an Immortal Shield Bow or a Blade of the Ruined King start. Which
Hysterics.
Yeah.
Gala has 2 items at 16 minutes. He has a rapid fire cannon
oh
right now. And he's just gonna take this mid-tier one with the Herald, and the entire map stays doomed.
Yeah. So, tell me how RNG played later on, because again, I think we're talking a little bit about how this comp can still be, you know, it's still about Gala, right? He's still on the hyper carry. There's a lot of angles RNG can play, and you're going to be worried about what's happening in the backline as well with that range that Jinx is going to use.
I don't even think it's all about Gala for this game, because you have something like the Luden's LeBlanc and also the Kennen with the Proto Belt online as well. So it's not just the threat of this ADC anymore for Game 2. They decided to finally drop the secondary carry, and Huanfeng sitting on that Gale Force, only 2-1 boots. He has so much to dodge in these teamfights as well. It's going to be really tough because Ucal most likely is going to be on the side lane. TT just needs to defuse every single engage that RNG tries to go for.
I mean, even one of these, right, the Herald getting dropped down mid. Teleport going to be used. Part of the defusal technique as Hoya comes in, but the whole TT are grouping up. 4 members of RNG stay put as Herald won't get the final charge to seal the deal. The Mega Death Rocket comes in as well. That was just Gala's ulti. And that hit Huanfeng by proxy. And Huanfeng almost takes half of his HP, or rather a quarter. That was pulled up as well. Kitty, it is just such a good day for Gala here, at least in the second game. And for RNG, playing through multiple angles, multiple carries, it feels like. I think on the other side of TT, we see the front line there, Kitty. We do have an AP Gragas, but it's still a lot of health on this front line. I feel like Huanfeng and Ucal need, what, another 15, 20 minutes at this point to be as relevant as RNG are going to be at that time, right?
Yeah, you really need 3 items online for the Yone and the Aphelios to pop up in these team fights, but TT, as long as Gala doesn't become too big of a problem, like I said, they can just build a bit of MR, and the Kennen and LeBlanc become pretty useless when it comes to the very end stages of this game. But if this Jinx gets out of control, it's going to be very tough. But if Hoya plays the teamfights correctly...
And then we go Fade on Seal. Finally, we get the Yone flash in. Ucal, beautiful stuff. He's hit Breeze one more time because the Soul Unbound is not enough, but Breeze should still be dying here. Beichuan takes the kill, but Ucal gets the assist. Top turret with it as well. Finally moving some plans into action.
How many times has Beichuan been top lane? I think around 5 times. Hoya really nice ultimate just getting rid of the waves. Jesus Christ, but RNG securing that soul point as TT's just gonna give that over. When is Angel ever gonna rotate and hover breathe? Can he at least do it once? I'm feeling bad for this Kennen now.
Yeah, I mean, again, he needs a bit of help. Breeze 0-3 and 0, but I will say the rest of his team is flourishing because of it. Gala is going to help take down this turret. Excuse me, Dragon. Turret's being taken by TT. His teleport actually taken in the meantime. Cannon Minion doesn't know what teleport is. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to hit Ucal. And Breathe just defends for now. But he walks back in. He's like, no, surely not. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition. Because Beichuan flashed for that. Breathe might have a good comeuppance coming through as Angel jumps in onto the Sejuani. Beichuan, meanwhile, they're like, we got to kill Breathe a fourth time. Depth charge, ignite. Breathe is dead, but look, you said Gala's arrived. Double kill goes to Angel, who came here first. And RNG gets so much more off the back of it.
Breathe finally gets a taste of what it feels like to have teammates, and he gets some reinforcement in that top lane. Beichuan forcing the flash out of nowhere, but because Gala came in and picked up all the kills, 3-0 on the map right now, it's just going to be Baron going over to RNG.
They're starting it off at the very least. It's not Baron just yet. Ming's a little bit low as Sky High is Wukong's point. Meanwhile, Angel jumps onto Huanfeng. Angel is a bit of a silent achiever here, Kitty. Has just been farming all game long, getting the global gold from RNG success, and doing a lot of work. But yeah, that TP, I mean, Ucal is only going to be able to pick up the wave.
Maybe he wanted to TP for the wave. You don't know Hysterics. We don't know, but that wall from RNG is so sneaky. He's going to get stopped out by Yaya. Breathe has no flash and no... Oh, he has ultimate.
He does. Teleport's coming through. That's Angel, though. Angel doesn't have flash either, but double distortion of possibilities. Ucal gets hit on the backline. They're taking the engage. The all-in over the Baron's pit. Watch Angel's backside, though, but Huanfeng doesn't want to watch him. Instead, goes in melee range of Breathe into the slicing maelstrom, my dear friends. TT try to make a trade, a turn, but RNG have got big bad Gala.
TT looking so desperate and forcing the Barons, trying to get RNG to play into their hands, but Gala having the stopwatch specifically picked up after the first Baron got started. He just survived and flashed away and started doing tons of damage.
We're going to see a replay in a second, Kitty. It just feels like RNG are in the position of TT last game. When the fight comes in finally, the gold difference is still just too massive. RNG with triple dragon, so much stats, and look, even Breeze has got a bounty now as well. If you look at the replay, as you pointed out, you know, Gala with some great reactions.
Yeah, this genuinely looks like a really good fight for TT, but Aphelios wasn't here, and I believe Ucal didn't get a chance to use his ultimate, so Gala left away and just got so much distance between him and the carries that TT, Beichuan wasn't even in the fight, he just left. That was a 45.
He was indeed. Look, I was focusing on Gala. I feel like it was way in the end. But Gala didn't have to do much apart from draw them over. RNG relied on him in the early game, but the rest of the team coming up clutch as well as Baron now picked up. Royal never give up a 7,000 gold in the lead in the second game. Such a turnaround from the clumsy nature of game one, as now their setup looks brilliant. Ucal getting a turret here, but look, TT as they go in, find nothing. Gala and Wake fight it back. Angel now spotted out. They might get a turret in the bottom lane, but this siege is so long range.
Yeah, Ucal desperately trying to get something done on the side, but TT doesn't have any way clear to get rid of these Barons, so this is gonna fall. He can just engage in and end the game.
If Ucal doesn't back off, well, RNG we're going to continue going in, but they actually go against it. Ucal's going to hover, thinking, okay, I still go in. Objective bounty is there and available, so for TT, trying to get the best of this bad situation as RNG still trying to find an engage off the off angle. But Kitty, Ucal's now gotten 2 turrets by himself. Gold back to 6,000 in the lead.
Yeah, I was expecting RNG to force something in the mid lane because he did have the ultimates available, since it is a 45. You see Ucal in the bottom side trying to get those side lanes, towers down. But RNG not having what it takes to just pull the trigger and force something in mid lane. And like you said, they got 2 towers for free.
So, with that second turret, you get an infinity edge for Ucal. And we do have an Ocean Soul coming up in 30 seconds. So, Kitty, I'm kind of wondering, what do you think right now of TT's chances? Because they're able to force some gold back. RNG, we know, is still very fed in the form of Gala, who now has a GA. How did TT find anything as the emphasis of the fight is, well, over to Ming. Ucal's trying to give us an answer, as RNG are just pushing them out.
Gala doesn't have cleanse just quite yet. So TT can find an angle onto this Jinx, who does have the G, unfortunately. Maybe it's an angle. But Breeze is being so sneaky here.
And there's the Cyclone. Yaoya's going in. It's close to tough separates, but, I mean, Hoya's not involved in the fight. Breeze is going to get ulted, but he found his ulti first. He gets revenge as Huanfeng runs up. He cleanses. gets another, but Gala sits there nice and pretty. A double goes down as TT have lost everyone but top and support, and now it feels like the base is about to fall too.
There's just too much damage from the side of RNG, and from the series Hysterics, I think playing a strong top lane instead of a classic front-to-back team composition looks like the key to victory for this best of 5.
Kennen both times has been, well, I mean, look, Breathe has been ganked heavily. They tried to put him down, but I think there's many keys we can look at. We can look at strong top lane in the laning phase. We can look at this bottom lane that had attention by Wei. I mean, Gala's doing so much damage here. You look at it, he's supposed to cast 5 fine, but Hoya's not even in the fight.
Hoya's just kind of throwing Qs across the wall, but look at Breathe going through bottom lane and just getting the flash ultimate. He is dead from this, but he got the job done, and he TT to stay in the fight as Gala just kind of came back in. But what is Hoya doing? He was like, very lost.
Have you seen, you know, the original Mario game where Donkey Kong just throws the barrels? He just stands at the top and he just keeps throwing a barrel. Hoya just threw barrels, and that was it. Yeah, literally. DJ Carlin is hang on top side. TT setting up for a pick. On to Breathe, the TP is coming through, but Angel's now by himself. They got him. But what are RNG going to do? They're looking for a fight here. They've got Ocean Soul, TT. They opted into this one as Wei is going to be jumped off for the time being. Triple Cyclone is great, but Ucal now jumping on the bottom lane. He seals the fate of 2, but doesn't do enough. Gala still there with Ocean Soul, with GA up and available. TT want to still take this fight as Ucal's doing so much work, but he's taken out in the backhand. They're too far ahead, and with Ocean and with Gala firing away, Huanfeng, woohoo! Oh my god! Wait, Ocean doesn't matter! Ocean doesn't matter! Ocean doesn't matter! Ocean doesn't matter! Angel's running away. Gala back. Hoya's still dead. It doesn't matter, Kitty! The zap doesn't connect. Gala still has GA available. The fact that Huanfeng got away with that is absurd!
What? That was a 4v5! Breathe died earlier, and it was just the two ADCs juking each other out. I'm honestly really certain that RNG only came out alive because of Ocean Soul, because Huanfeng would have wiped the Jinx without that.
Absolutely, I guess it does. So we still look at RNG favorably. That was still their fight at the end of it all. But Huanfeng, I guess, even with 2 items, is starting to get their kitties. We look at this drawn out fight again.
Yeah, 2 ultimates used onto the poor Kennen, where he wasn't even able to pop the ultimate before dying, but Angel buying enough time does allow for reinforcements as Huanfeng was making his way up from mid lane. But this looked like a really good fight from RNG. Ucal making Gala to 1 HP though was a very big difference when it did come to this 5v5, but TT is so desperate in trying to make anything happen because they're on Ocean Soul, and if they don't get this Baron, well, that's going to be Elder for RNG.
It's going to be an easy close. TT are holding on by a thread, but that thread keeps going in terms of thickness to a little bit larger, a little bit less, a little bit larger. I mean, TT continue playing around with which part they're holding as Baron. That was being hovered around by TT momentarily, but RNG, clear vision, get control again. And with Gala, they've got to move quick if TT wants this. Breathe might be caught out by Beichuan again. He's a target, but all on in as Ucal gets the ulti solar play there too, but Beichuan's left on an island. RNG take him out, no jungler, no smite steal, no worries.
No jungler either. Beichuan's just dead trying to go for Breathe, who has the Banshee's Veil now, so you can't just force onto him. As RNG, they get, oh my god, Huanfeng!
Angel is a threat. That's a 3-item Savion LeBlanc fine vintage 2009, somewhere from South Australia. The grapes just speak for themselves. Angel, I feel like this is one you don't see too often.
It's aging like fine wine, Hysterics. Our predictions of RNG is coming true, but maybe TT still has a chance because Elder is gonna be up in 2 minutes. Maybe they win 1 fight and it's all over for RNG.
Well, all over for TT, you mean? I mean, that's how it feels, but all over for RNG to win the game and claw their way back from what a messy start to the series was. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that RNG were lost in game 1, but the direction in game 2, especially from people like Ming on this Leona, which is a class favorite here in the LPL, even more so than his Naught, which, again, game one wasn't that clean. But, Kitty, we're talking about Angel on carries. You know, this is also a really good sign of life, seeing the flexibility as RNG are moving into fog of war. TT is still waiting. They're being very patient, but what will they lose if they stay here too long? Oh,
the
they got Angel. There's the face sealed. Everything all in. Solar Flare, though, stops him. They don't kill Angel. He's out of there. With Ocean Soul now, the turnaround has got to be blissful. They tried. TT were in a bit of a hole, and to claw their way out, they tried to grab the nearest object, but it didn't hold out. RNG with a stunning redistribution of this series will now pick up their first game in round one of playoffs. We got a hell of a series to look forward to as teams tie up in game two.
Ucal got one shot at the end as well. This series 1-1 now. What an insane showing from both teams, Hysterics.
It was just RNG's early game, though, that made it so easy, right? The double flash burnt out. The laning phase just felt pretty free. And Kitty, I have to say, overall, you know, Wei just kind of woke up a bit with his Wukong pick too. It was just a very different environment for RNG.
Maybe it was just Wei not feeling himself in that game one, but game two, forcing the two flashes, like you said, getting that early tempo ahead. And Beichuan, for some reason that I can't fathom, ganks top lane at least 7 times this game and tries to get the AP or AP/healthy Gragas ahead instead of Huanfeng. Imagine if Huanfeng got all the resources from the jungler.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very different style. Like, I mean, Beichuan, we haven't seen him hover Hoya all that much. There's been games here and there, but we're used to spending time around Ucal, you know, setting up Huanfeng. Like, it's strange to me that Beichuan decided to go top. Kenny, your thumbs are up, but I don't feel like it's a thumbs up from Beichuan.
Thumbs up for Wei. That was a very good game from the RNG jungler. And of course, Ming getting so much done. But like you said, the biggest highlight for me was definitely Angel having a huge 180 going into this game too, given something like the LeBlanc, which I think is going to be a very vital pick for the upcoming games, where it just synergizes so well with Wei's entire champion pool. And it gives what RNG needs, which is mid-game stability.
And mid-game stability is how RNG played with Xiaohu especially. So it is another good sign and a sign of their best kind of play. I feel like for TT, kind of taken unawares in that game, Kitty, like it was a bit of a shock. After what we saw in game one where they started out laning phase well, Beichuan got a couple of those ganks through mid, through top, and avoided vision. It really set the pace. But without that pace in the early game, TT weren't sure as to, I guess, how to stop that train from RNG from a runner.
Yeah, but it's a really strange phenomenon where we don't see junglers playing towards the Aphelios Nautilus lane, where I think they're just missing out on such a golden opportunity. You have the setup from the Gravitum gun, you have just endless CC from a Nautilus support, but junglers allergic to this duo. So I'm getting really worried. Maybe they should just ban it away from themselves, because I'm very sure if Huanfeng got all the resources in that bottom lane, this game would have turned out very differently, because in the very end, the difference was that Ocean Soul Dragon going towards RNG.
I mean, it's nice to see that Huanfeng, in without the resources, was able to pull off some of those fights. And you're right, if it went down to the bottom lane for Beichuan, if some of the resources followed through, then it could have been a different game for Huanfeng, who was already in the position to carry. But his old Sooning member in Angel, I mean, let's be real, Gala's probably going to get MVP here, Kitty, but I feel like Angel, some of the picks, the setup and the constant threat was really strong from RNG's new mid.
Angel, my king, he's really stepped up with that LeBlanc. Hopefully he stays this consistent for the upcoming matches, because we are currently tied in the standings.
1-1 apiece. TT versus RNG will not go silently into that quiet